Yeah, I gotta tell you, man, I've been looking for an excuse to use the word pentultimate for like 15 episodes of this podcast, and I am rock
Finally.
hard that I was able to unleash
Finally.
that thing just then, man.
Yeah, I
And
can
it
see
was like
that.
smooth,
Might
like
wanna
I had
hide
it
that.
prepped. What's going on, everybody? Critic in the comment man here, back with yet another short review of The Mandalorian.
We don't have
This
to do that
time,
anymore
we're a little late.
because he took his helmet off.
No, they didn't see it.
Right.
Chapter 15, The Believer. We get the return of Bill Burr in this one. I wasn't expecting this.
I wasn't either.
Don't
Of all the
know-
characters to bring back, I was like, okay, like sure.
I wasn't expecting, and I guess they kind of talked about him in the last episode. We had touched on that.
They did,
At the
yeah.
very end, they say they're going to get the sharpshooter, and it's Bill Burr's character. I wasn't expecting him to come back in this season, man. And I liked this episode a lot. I'll just go ahead and say I think I would have liked it better if this episode had been like 3 episodes ago. And I'll explain that a little bit more as we go. But initial reactions, as always, Chris, what did you think of this episode? Love it, hate it, indifferent?
I actually really liked this episode. My first impression, just from what it just the looks and everything, dude, it reminded me of Rogue One. Just everything about
Very
the
Rogue One-esque.
Yeah, all we were missing, but seeing the sand troopers and the tan armor and stuff, it was just really cool. It was different. It was kind of another way that they connected the different threads of the different movies, and it was cool. I really enjoyed seeing this new set, and again, it was cool because we got to see something that isn't just like a desert village.
Yes.
We got to see a planet base, and it was really cool.
Completely agree.
I think the acting was phenomenal. Bill Burr is a great actor. I'm very surprised with him after we've seen him in a few different things, and we see him in this, and
Yeah,
we've
he
seen
was
him
great
in
King of Staten Island. He was a lot of fun, and then obviously he's just a hilarious guy altogether.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was pretty cool. You're right, though. I think it should have been a few episodes ago because it kind of feels like a filler, but not really because
Yeah,
it does push the story forward, but it's
But does it though? I mean, what did they got his coordinates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they got his coordinates. That's true. But it feels like plot-wise this episode did very little as compared to the last episode or even the one before. For example, we didn't see Grogu once in this episode.
True.
We don't see Baby Yoda at all.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. There's a lot to love about this episode just in and of itself. I just think plot-wise it was a little bit of a step back.
Yeah.
And now here we are getting ready to watch the season finale, which at the time of our recording is basically coming out. Sorry, we're a little late on this one. But we're basically now getting ready to watch the season finale, and the season finale is going to pick up right where we were 2 episodes ago. Mm-hmm. So I feel like while this one did have a lot of cool things in it, that truck thing they were driving with the independent suspension and it would blow up if it got rattled too hard, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I thought that thing was really cool looking.
And Mando just
like
duking it out fist to fist on the top of the thing.
That was
it was
dope.
cool,
I mean,
yeah.
the action was insane. What was it? Not the pulse bomb, but the sonic imploder thing that drops out of the Slave One. Those things are
Ooh,
insane.
that is, yeah, dude. That was a callback to the originals.
One of the cooler,
prequels.
one of the cooler things in the Star Wars universe are those bombs. Like the noise they make and how they're that plane. They stay on one plane when they expand. Those are one of the cooler things in the
fancy
Star
over
Wars
here talking
universe
about
to me.
planes and dimensions. And
Yeah,
geometry.
You like that? That's
You like
that's
that?
geometry too,
Yeah.
baby. That's 10th grade.
XYZ axis.
So a lot to like in this episode as a standalone episode. I just was expecting to get a little bit more plot development throughout this. Seeing something with Baby Grogu, seeing something with him maybe reaching out to this Jedi or whoever he reached out to through the Force. I just feel like now we have no clue what's about to happen in this season finale. They've really left this open-ended off of Chapter 15, and now here we come into Chapter 16, and let's see what we get. So what did you think of the plot in this one as far as they're going to get his coordinates? Did you like everything that happened? Did you think the pirates trying to blow up the things were kind of stupid? What do you think?
I mean, they kind of set up at the end of the last episode that this is what the Mandalorian was going to do. He said, "I need to get those coordinates." And when you think about it, space is kind of big. It's not huge. It's not like it's infinitely large or anything, but it's. We knew going into this episode that this is what the point of this episode was. They need those coordinates because otherwise he can't get the kid back. Bill Burr was a cool choice. I liked seeing his character. It's funny because I didn't like him in the episode that he was in before, but in this episode he was great. Like,
I agree with that statement. I don't agree that I didn't like him in the episode before.
Yeah, I didn't like the
him,
episode.
but I will. Yeah, I didn't love the episode. I'll agree with that, and I'll definitely say that he was much better in this season than I think he just felt more Star Wars-esque.
Yes.
It's hard to take a dude with a New York accent really seriously in the Star Wars universe, but he pulled it off in this one.
Yeah, and just hearing him talk about his past and stuff was interesting. Just seeing the point of view of somebody who used to be Imperial,
Right.
and somebody who delivers it well. The best scene, I have to say this, and I'm sure other people made this connection too, but the best scene, immediately my reaction when I saw them sitting with the officer at the table when he was like, let's go have a drink. My mind went to Inglorious Basterds with the bar scene when they're all sitting at the table, and like, because we as viewers know that there is tension here,
And you feel it. They set it up well.
yeah. It's not as masterfully done as that because, you had things like this guy celebrating his kid's birthday coming in, stuff like that in Inglorious Basterds just added to the
that
tension.
That scene alone in Inglorious Basterds was like the length of this entire episode.
Right. And so, they did what they could. I thought it was very well done, to have them like, okay, we got what we needed. Let's go. Oh shit, now we're sitting down with the enemy. And then just to have him like sitting, and I knew he was going to shoot him. I knew that just from the look in his eyes when he was just talking to this guy, he was just talking about all the people he lost and all the terrible things they had to do. He said he lost like how many people? Like thousands, right? He lost like thousands of soldiers.
Yeah, he said a whole troop. I think he said like 13,000 or 1,300 men or something. I mean, they basically just nuked a planet that they were on and just burned it all down.
So it was just interesting to see how far the Empire was willing to go. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. I'm amazed that Bill Burr's character survived this episode. I thought once he shot that dude in the chest, I thought for sure he's going down in a blaze of glory kind of thing. What do you think about seeing Mando again, seeing Din Djarin without his helmet on? Because that was kind of the big statement in this episode, is that he took his helmet off again, and we'd only seen it in one previous episode.
This is the first time he's taken it off.
I actually feel like it was this season. Yeah, it was the first time he'd taken it off this season.
Well, it's the first time he's taken it off for something that doesn't, like, he's allowed to take it off when he eats. We see him, pull the helmet up when he was like sipping. So like he only takes it off when he has to. This is the first time we've seen him take it off for something that is not allowed by the creed. He literally sacrificed. Yeah, he sacrificed what he believes in because he cares more about this kid than he does about his own ethics.
That's true. The motive behind taking the helmet off was important. That's an important note.
Absolutely.
And a good point.
It's showing the development of him as a Mandalorian and how that's kind of changing.
Yeah, his motivations are changing. He's becoming more involved with his relationship to this kid, who he now is starting to feel more of a parental
Which is
bond
also,
with.
it's interesting because this is after he's met the Mandalorians, the other ones that aren't part of his like weird, culty kind.
Right, that took their helmet off.
Yeah, and they're like, what they kind of explained it. So I don't know if like maybe that conversation he had with them is changing his beliefs, or if it's making him see things in a new way, kind of expanding his like, his viewpoint. Whatever the case, it's really cool that he took it off. We got to see him. But I think the best thing is that Bill Burr handed the helmet back to him and then didn't watch him put it back on. Like, out of respect for him, he was just like, I understand that I'm not supposed to be looking at you, kind of a thing, and just like looked away while he put his helmet back on.
I'll tell you, man, as an independent episode, they did a lot of things right in this one. They did a lot of things right. They played on the nostalgia just enough, with the Sonic imploder. I know that's probably not what it's called.
Yeah.
Somebody in the comments can correct us, but they plan on the nostalgia just enough without shoving it down your throat. It's not like they have Chewbacca come in and he becomes the main character of this show, but they're playing on the like original trilogy just enough, but they're also bringing in some really cool new pieces of tech that totally fit with the theme of the universe that's already been set up, but are unique in their own way. My only qualms with this one were that I didn't feel like it drove the actual plot of the show along very much at all.
From where we left off.
Episode, right. It was a very big episode just to get a coordinate of where this guy is. And for it to be the penultimate episode, I was especially disappointed with the fact that I didn't feel like it pushed the plot along the way it probably could have.
I think it's kind of weird for them to be like, oh, we took the child away from you. Like the suspense is through the roof. and then not have a climactic like 2 episodes after that. It's,
Yeah, I got to tell you, man, I've been looking for an excuse to use the word pentultimate for like 15 episodes of this podcast, and I am rock hard that I was able to finish that thing just then, man.
Yeah, I can
and it
see
was
that.
Like smooth,
Might
like
wanna
I had
hide
it
that.
prepped. So again, it's completely open-ended for what's going to happen in the season finale, because we know that they're going to come after him. He sends him like the Taken message at the end. He's like, "I will find you." That kid means that. Honestly, I thought that was actually kind of stupid.
Yeah, I feel like they could have added another line or two that was a little more powerful. Like, he means more to me than he does to you.
That child means more to me than you'll ever know.
Like, Moff Gideon is sitting there like, yeah, we know. Like, that's, yeah.
Yeah, like, we know you're coming for us, dude. Like, I didn't buy that 100%. I was a little disappointed with the take and the speech. They needed Liam Neeson in there. But
I have a very particular
I do feel like him taking off his helmet was a little bit, and this is just my opinion. I know that the Star Wars diehards, or not even, people will disagree with this, and that's fine. I feel like it was almost a little bit too little too late. It was either too little too late, or they hit the nitrous too soon. They Vin Dieseled it. No, sorry, Paul Walkered it. They Paul Walkered it, man, because if you're going to wait this long, why not save it for the season finale and do the big reveal at the end where he saves Grogu somehow by doing something, taking his helmet off? Or if you're going to have him take his helmet off, maybe do it a little bit earlier.
Also,
I just felt like the time...
It didn't make sense to me that he had to take it off in the first place. Like, you're not an Imperial, you're not in the system. What did you think was going to happen when they were like scanning your face?
Have him scan your face with the helmet on. It just, I don't know. And like Bill Burr totally could have just walked in there and done the thing. You know what I mean? It was a little bit goofy. And obviously the fact that commander would just happen to be sitting right there, and the only manifest thing was in that little room. I mean, it was definitely a little bit forced, no pun intended. But, it's okay. And I don't feel like anything that happened in this one significantly drove the plot along, but I do feel like it was a good episode in and of itself.
There was one thing that they were talking about that I thought was pretty cool. It was pretty good writing, in my opinion, when they were talking to that officer, and he was talking to them about like the state of the universe, and like he was telling them that ultimately what people want is order. That line is totally prefacing the fact that the Empire is weaker at the moment, but they are going to become the First Order, that they will grow into that, into that void that's left behind by the New Republic. And I thought that was really good. It was,
yeah, good call. Because I was thinking that, I was like, where have we heard this before? This spiel about people wanting order and not wanting this. And what somebody says, you're confusing order with fear or something like that. I don't know. There's some line in there in Star Wars somewhere where that's very similar to that kind of tone. Somebody I'm sure can kind of fill us in on it. But I mean, overall, what did you think, man? Did you really like this episode? Did you?
I thought it was good.
Not care for it so much?
I did enjoy it. I thought it was, it was fun. It was fun to watch. It was cool to see them go through a jungle on a truck that was going to explode. Being attacked on the back like some old Western or something. It was cool. And then it was also really cool to see all of the stormtroopers being human and just congratulating their fellow troopers or whatever, just seeing them like, yeah, and then like watching them all salute as they drove in. It was really cool. Just to see them a little more human.
How you're relieved. Yeah, how you were relieved in this episode when the TIE fighters come to the rescue.
Yeah,
It's like a very weird thing.
You're like,
very kind of weird feeling. Yeah, yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, you're like, wait.
Yeah.
But the Star Wars has, I will say, for all the things that it's done wrong as of late, not really as of late. As of late would be The Mandalorian. A little less late being the 3 movies they just came out with. For all the things that the new trilogy did wrong, one thing that I think they did do right was give a little bit more personality to the stormtroopers.
Yes.
I feel like the prequels tried to give more personality to the droids, like the Roger droids. They like had them actually conversing with you. But I feel like what would have been better and what was better was giving some more personality to the actual Empire and the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
To let you know that they're actually people behind those helmets. It's not just these mindless drones. They're not clones. I mean, they're just people who have been enlisted.
Because the only time in the movies we ever hear them talk, you see like 2 stormtroopers are like, I hear the new T-3000 is getting an upgrade on the magazine clip. It's like they're always talking about some gun or something. It's like, have a conversation about lunch. Anything real.
Like life. I mean, if you were in the military or something, I'm sure you'd be talking to people. I mean, you'd be talking to people about all kinds of stuff.
And I get it
because be talking about that.
there's stormtroopers, and the thing is, I've read books, and so you like there's in the book Phasma tries to talk to, before she's a stormtrooper, but she's a warrior of her tribe. She tries talking to some of the stormtroopers, and they look at her and they say, "We're not allowed to talk to you. Sorry." That's it.
Gotcha.
And they do not speak to her. And so it kind of shows that it's not just soldiers. These guys are like brainwashed. They're like, you have to follow the strict orders because they're constantly being monitored.
Yeah, they're indoctrinated into the Empire. That makes sense. It kind of deepens the lore, and you don't want it to get to a point where you're always cheering for the stormtroopers, because that walks a thin line too. There's a lot of people out there already that really like the Empire. It's just a cool, army, or whatever you even call it, like a segment of people, whatever, political group of people that they've created. The guys look cool, their weapons are cool, their vehicles are cool. If you start making them too personable, you're going to end up with people that are, rooting for the bad guys. So I don't think Favreau's trying to do that either. I love this episode, man, as a standalone episode. This to me could have been episode 3, 4, any of those, and I think it would have been fine. It just felt like we took a step back into, we're now getting an episode that doesn't really seem to push the plot along. I mean, what happens in this episode that we didn't, like, you say this a lot and you make a good point. What happened in this episode that changed what was happening in the plot?
Yeah, if you remove this episode, the only thing is that, they have coordinates.
They have the coordinates now, which we kind of assumed they were going to get them anyway. So, okay, I understand that was important, but that's a great way of putting it. If you remove this episode, what really changes or is left out of the plot? Not really a whole lot. No. Now, you guys can argue that in the comments. Go right ahead. Let us know if you guys disagree. If you take this piece of the puzzle out, are you really missing any big parts of the plot?
It deepened the story. It deepened the lore. It helped us see more about the story, about the characters, like Bill Burr's character. Right. Also, that shot he took at the end. Whew. But that
was awesome.
Yeah. It felt a little, he happened to hit it in the right spot and the entire base blew up. Whatever. I'll give it to him because it was just cool. It was cool. And it makes you wonder about his character. Like, damn, like what did he do back in the day that he was able to he didn't even question. He was just like, hand me your rifle. He just did. And in one shot blew up the base. It was great.
That was pretty awesome. It was great. I just, and here it comes again. But for the penultimate episode, I feel like I would have liked to see a little bit more plot development to kind of ramp us up even more for the finale. I didn't feel more hyped up for the season finale after watching chapter 15 than I did watching chapter 14.
No, not really.
It was kind of another thing. But this is the pace that we're gonna get, I guess, with a Star Wars TV show, and that's okay. It's good to have this content, but I think the pacing of the show is another reason why I'm not okay with Star Wars completely transitioning to the TV show format. Yeah. I still want some movies because I just feel like the pacing and the scale of things in the movies is better.
Yeah, I agree.
I love The Mandalorian. I don't want The Mandalorian to go anywhere, but Disney announcing all these new shows and like 3 new Star Wars shows coming up. I don't know if I love that. I don't know if I love that. And maybe we'll have a conversation on the Instagram. Let us know what you guys think about. Is it too much? Are they going too far with the TV shows? Because it's turning into like the Marvel TV shows where all of a sudden you've got, Arrow and Daredevil and Flash and, you're getting a lot of these things. Does it kind of wash it out a little bit? Let us know what you guys think. Chris, you got anything else for chapter 15, The Believer?
No. I kind of hope Bill Burr's in the next episode. I do that.
I know he's become a good part of this show.
Also,
he's a good actor and he's a lovable character.
Jango's paint job is pretty cool.
Oh, that's right. He got a fresh paint job, dude. He pulled into the GTA garage.
Not Jango, Boba.
Django's the dad. Yeah. All right, man. Then you know what to do. This is the way. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. On to the season finale. I can't believe it's already the season finale, man. It feels like this just started. On to the season finale of The Mandalorian Season 2 we go. Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Love it or hate it. Jump on over to our Instagram, Critic and the Common Man. Give us a subscribe here if you're just finding us. We put content out like this all the time. Sorry we're a little bit late on this review. We appreciate the views, and we're out of here. All right, guys. This is the way.